Okay, let's see. Okay, we should be good now. And there we go. All right. Okay. Now then. All right. Let me make sure they're not. Let me make sure check everything's okay and all fine. All right. Well, good. Want to make sure everything looks good. All right. Alright, let me make sure the music. Hopefully the music not that loud. I gotta check real quick. So give me 1 second. Alright. Shut you off. Alright, there we go. The fan's off. Okay. Why do they give Chloe shitty episode? I don't know, but I'm gonna say just right now, this episode, I have words for this episode. I'll get into it when I get into it. And speaking about getting into it, what's up there at home, by the way? I think it's time. So we're gonna start things a bit differently this time around, only because a few reasons. Number one, oh, actually, there's only one pure reason. That's only because I want to talk about this since like I literally just got on watching the show on Thursday night. So I want to give my thoughts out on Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V, which is why you guys see Yuya there on the thumbnail at least, not here, at least not yet. Now I know it's random for me to talk about like other animes that isn't Pokemon, even though that's my general demographic for anime, for Pokemon, the anime in Pokemon in general. But I also branch on other content too, so this is not too far out of reach for me at least. If you all remember, I was trying to do the Digimon 2020 review, and early in my channel, if you guys go way back, you guys will see that I tried to do I was doing Digimon season reviews, where I review each season of Digimon. So, and plus, also, prior to the whole Kappa thing back in 2019, I live streamed some other anime stuff. Like, for example, I live streamed my thoughts on Dragon Ball Z during the Tournament of Power, like, one time. So, content on my channel isn't just known for Pokemon, it's just, that's my main focus, but I do branch on other content too. So, that's why this is, to me, this is not audio only. To many, it may be only because they don't know I've watched Yu-Gi-Oh! Since, for a while now, actually, because I didn't get into Yu-Gi-Oh! Until 2017. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here, well, technically, we're kind of here, but let's just get into like the discussion about the Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V, because, oh my god, this anime, okay. For starters, I'm going to say this right now. I understand the hate this one gets. I'm aware of his legacy of having the worst anime endings in Yu-Gi-Oh! To date, I believe. I believe Reigns is the second one, and but from what I heard, Reigns is like more personal, like more. It's split with Reigns' ending, but the Arc V's ending, a majority of the fandom can agree that like the ending to Arc V was kind of poorly written. which I can understand. Now, Arc V to me, when I got into Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V, started watching it like months ago, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I did not mind it. Like, not the ending, but like when I got into the show, because I was watching all Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. I'm binge watching throughout Yu-Gi-Oh! So after coming from Zexo, which is my second least favorite, but for other reasons, Arc V to me stands out as like one of the more unique Yu-Gi-Oh! Series out there, only because of like the way they did the plots. Now, yes, I'm aware that we had storylines where like the game goes to different like dimensions and stuff like that, like in the original, and then in GX. 5D's they kinda, but didn't really, because 5D's whole thing was more sci-fi. Like that was the whole thing within season 2, and Zexo whole thing was about the variants, which that's a war between Astral World and Variant World. So, but I think what Arc V, first off, I like the plots. I like the arcs that they provided in the anime. Like, I can't remember his name in the second season when they went to the synchro dimension. I can't remember his name. He was basically the villain. I forgot his name though, but he ran the city basically. I kind of liked him as a villain. The way he got killed off though was kind of like, well, that was kind of anticlimactic. Not gonna lie. Only because like he is those kind of villains that I appreciate. Like, I like the idea of that villain. I forgot his name. If any of you guys seen Arc V, you guys will know who I'm talking about, because I'm trying to think. I forgot his name, but his whole thing was like he ran the police force in the synchro dimension, like sector security. He always played chess for some odd reason. I don't know what's with like big leagues playing chess when they're so villainous. I don't know. Probably an anime trope. Now I'm not gonna make this. Okay, let's see. I felt like Eevee is the most developed in the show, and yet it gets this episode. Yeah, Masuna Dream. We'll talk about the Eevee episode later on. But for now, well, I'm in the middle. I'm more or less like giving my thoughts because I just got done watching Arc V, so I want to give my thoughts on Arc V, and then we'll jump into the episode discussion. But I like Yugi as a character, and no, that's not because he has goggles. Even though that's one of the reasons why he's in my top 3 favorite Yu-Gi-Oh characters, only because of the goggles. I like the premise of like each of the U-Boys, like the U-Boys are reincarnations of like this evil menace. I'm aware that Zorg is silly in comparison, considering he goes to that weird transformation. My thing though is like, it was very clear that Yuri out of the 3 was the evil one. Like, he's the evil one. So I would have liked it if like Yuya, Yuto, and Yugo worked together to take on Yuri, who's basically Zark's evil one. That's his like persona. I'm sure that's what many fans wish could have went down, and I agree. Because like I'm making a ballsy move only because like I don't know much about the Yu-Gi-Oh lore. Like I know some of it, but not like hardcore fans do. So if you guys are a hardcore fan, please forgive me. Like, don't go in the comments or in the chat right now going on like you don't know what you're talking about, because like even I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just giving my thoughts on a show that I'm busy watching right now, which I am gonna start watching Yu-Gi-Oh Reign soon. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, I feel like Zark. Talking into the premise, I like the idea of Zark, whereas like the idea is all like, hey, what if like a bunch of people, because he's literally doing what people just want him to do, give him a good fight, which he did. Unfortunately, that's not what the audience wanted. Because when you really think about it, it's more or less like the audience in the show's fault, not the fandom, but in universe, the audience in the stadiums, because they wanted for more but they didn't ask. They asked for too much, and therefore Zog became overwhelmed. So I mean, something to think about. It's kind of their fault why this all happened. So my main thing with Arc V, I agree with what many of the fandom said. Like I said before, I would say season 1, 2, and 3 were really good, but by the end of season 3, that's when like things kind of got weird with their storytelling. So one thing that does save Arc V for me though is like the cast. I'll be honest, I did not thought I would like Silvio only because he was like trying to. When I first saw Silvio, I thought he was gonna be like one of those like freaking. I thought he was gonna be like one of those freaking like I'm too good looking for this type of stuff like characters. Like he gave me vibes of like my mindset with Silvio was like he was gonna be like one of those pretty boys who only wants to get the girls. And that's what he kind of was, but like the way they made him to be, I kind of liked it by the end. I kind of wish he got a win. I know he got a win, but like an iconic win, because when we get later on into the series, like Silvio's starting to realize the grasp of the situation. I think that's only because like he was resorted for comic relief, which I don't mind, because in fact like he gets what he kind of deserves in some occasions because he thinks he's the best, but not really. Hell, he literally had to like talk Declan to like let him retry for the Lancer. So like all the characters to me are like pretty good. The only ones I would say that weren't that impressive were the younger characters in the first season, but that's only because by the end of the first season we went to other dimensions and they couldn't come with them. Now the ending, yeah, like the full conclusion, it was weird. I'm not gonna lie, it was freaking weird. Like my god, like I would have preferred the U boys and the. Yeah, I forgot. I don't know what the term is for the girls. Basically, the 4 boys and the 4 girls basically like became their own person, not fused into one. Like all the U boys become to go to Yuya, and all the bracelet girls. I think that's what the term is. Just default into Zuzu. Like I think that was kind of dumb, especially since you realize a majority of them just lost their friends technically. Like, they just lost their friends. So, yeah, that was weird. I'll give it credit, though. I think Yuya going to the pro leagues is a pretty good way to conclude it. Only because that's what he kind of wanted to become in the first place. So, overall, also, I love the music. The music in Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V is probably one of the more... I had fun hearing the Japanese openings in this one. Like, there's only 2 of them I don't really care for. I like Believe X Believe. I like the 3rd opening, and I like the 5th and 6th opening. Believe X Believe is definitely my favorite one, and that's only because I always default to like the first opening being the best, because that's their first impressions. Your first impression for your show should always come from your opening. So, with that said, I want to rank my, as of right now, because I'm going to watch Reigns next. Here's my list. 5Ds is my favorite. It's still my favorite to this day. Then it's the original Duel Monsters, because that has legacy. That's like, it has charm back with 4Kids. Arc V is, I'll put Arc V in top 3. Then I'll put Zexo and GX. That's my listing as of right now. Arc V was good until the end, but I had a fun ride. I had a fun time watching 5Ds. Not 5Ds, Arc V until the end. The end is where it got weird. But the beginning and middle is so good, I'm going to like forgive the ending. I know by the ending it ruins on like a lot of people. To me though, it's like, I at least had fun until like it got weird. Once it get weird, I could just stop watching it. So there you go. That's my low-key review on Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V. I may make a separate video about this, but I don't know. All right, enough talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V. Let's actually get into the meat of the episode. let's actually talk about the actual episode that I think many of us want to talk about. Oh god, this episode. I'm gonna say this right now. This is the worst Journeys episode. Hands down, the worst. And the reason I'm saying is the worst is because Journeys has now decided to reuse old storylines that happened in the past Pokemon series before. I was willing to get excited for the Absol episode only because that's often, unfortunately, like Zapso's like stick, where like Absol is well known to predict disasters, but then there are those idiots who think no, it causes the disasters, even though that's not the case. This episode, oh my fucking god. Okay, I want us all to remind ourselves. Ash and friends go to a old-timey castle or an old-timey village. They're celebrating a festival for the village. There's lore behind the Pokemon that the companions have with the Pokemon that's here. There's a legend behind the Pokemon that the companions would eventually have. A ninja wants to take over the area. Does this ring a bell? Because it's fucking X, Y, and Z episode 5 and 6. Oh my fucking god. This is... I'm mad because that's... Now you're just dedicating yourself to like just copy and pasting past plots that work better than this. That whole Koharu doppelganger thing is just dumb. This to me just feels like a... I said this before, I'm gonna say it again. Journeys is literally a 5-year-old fanfic done wrong. The jokes here aren't that funny, to be honest. That whole fucking Espeon, Umbreon evolution crap isn't funny at all. It's just dumb. Like, why wouldn't you want to fight Crobat if you're an Espeon already? Your whole thing, the reason you evolve is so that way you can look after whatever this chick's name is. Like, my fucking god, I hate you, Journeys. There's barely any good remnants of this episode I could pull out of, to be honest. Like, this is just a bad episode. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I had zero motivation to even talk about this episode, to be honest. That's the only reason why I wanted to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! First, because I knew I had to talk about this crap first. It's just, Journey, yeah. Oh, and then there's that plot twist where, like, apparently the ninjas, like, Koharu 2's brother, who got this stone or something, like, I don't know, I barely cared. And that's the thing, too. Why you guys, what's with Pokemon nowadays trying to redeem villains? Like, the only reason they're villains is because they're unredeemable. Like, even the ninja episode back in XYZ, I thought it was kind of odd how, like, they just accepted the guy back. Like, yeah, they made the excuse that, like, he was going to leave again to do some, like, training to, like, focus on his mind to do positive. But that's still kind of weird when you realize that he attacked the entire clan. And that's what this episode feels like to me. It is. Like, it's just not that interesting at all. I don't even care about next week's episode to begin with, to be honest. Only because we're about to be in episode 80, and my motivation to watch Journeys has dried up. I have no intention to... I have no willpower to really continue on watching these shows, the Journeys as a whole. Only because, like, the storytelling is so piss poorly, relying too much on fucking cheap gags and cheap nostalgia. It's like, why do you guys think we need to see old companions back or old characters? Kurt, I was in the mindset too, but now I realize what they're doing. They're just doing this just so they could, like, they all really want to see freaking Gary, Iris, all these characters that got destroyed by Journey's piss poor writing. How? I don't wanna. I don't wanna see my favorite characters come back to get this stone. And there's not much to say about this episode. This is just a poorly written episode. I'm gonna be honest with you all right now. I better forgot. Remember what even happened in this episode? There was absolutely nothing redeemable of this episode. Like, I didn't care. Like, it had to. I like the premise of like having a long lost sibling. That's what I did though. Like, that's literally it. I like the idea. The execution wasn't well enough for me to like really say, okay, y'all did it. This is a Good Journeys episode. Nah. It doesn't even help knowing full well that Ash and Go had to like sit back just so Koharu and her clone could get the spotlight. So now we're giving them. So like, I genuinely feel like the guy should have had backup. Like, if he had backup, then I would have justified it more. But it's so weird. This is like the weirdest hostage situation I've ever seen in my life. Like, I barely felt like he was a threat to begin with. Oh, and the whole reasoning why Koharu came and there was a clone is just so that way the guy can take Koharu by mistake. Yeah, right at the end. I don't like these doppelganger episodes. I really don't. Because they always play around too much with them. Like, you look just like me. No, you look just like me. Stick, and it doesn't really work well. Like, it just doesn't. Like, I'm sorry, like, fucking, like, I said, I'm gonna see this again. I feel like I'm just watching a bad fanfic, to be honest. Just a really piss poorly fanfic done by a amateur, fucking, like, preschooler who thinks it's cool to bring back old characters. And I'm not dissing, like, the fandom. I'm not dissing whoever does that, like, I'm just saying, though, like, it's just not good storytelling to bring back old characters, nor is to reuse old plots that have happened before. Y'all could have done something interesting with the long lost sibling trope. Hell, I think what would have helped if Koharu 2 had the Espeon and this guy had the Umbreon, because the whole idea with these two specifically is that they're supposed to be like brother and sister, yin yang, sun and moon, gold and silver. Hell, the whole game. Also, I hate how they evolve. I really do. I hate how Espeon evolved, and I hate how Umbreon evolved. I think it would have been more interesting if they evolved during an eclipse. Because that's the whole gimmick with the eclipse. The eclipse plays a weird role in this episode, but doesn't really help. I think it would have been more interesting if during one of the festivals, the Umbreon and Espeon evolved during an eclipse, because that's when the sun's out and the moon's out. But now, I'm gonna be honest. I'm getting sick and tired of this stupid Eevee plot. Like, let's just get the G-Max so we could get over with this dumb plot. Like, I'm really fed up with this. Like, this is bad storytelling. If we got it, because at this point in time, it's like we kind of get it already. You're not gonna evolve into any of these. Like, why bother? But regardless, I'm bringing this episode 3. Fucking 3. I really had no motivation to talk about this episode. Like I said, that's the whole reason why I want to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! 5 Arc V for a while. Just because I know full well that freaking this review was going to be so short as hell. Like, really short. So, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really that interested next week. Like, Project Mew is kind of ruined for me now, knowing full well that, like, Gary is Go's rival, and that still irks me. Because the whole idea Why do we got? Now we're relying on old rivals. We're relying on old fucking rivals, and that's not good storytelling. That's just not, because Gary is too well written for Go. Like he has too much good skills behind him for me to believe that Go could like defeat him. Like I would prefer him better if they just gave him the Urshifu rivals. But not Gary. I would not mind if Gary would motivate Go, but not be his rival. That's dumb. But regardless, 3 out of 10 for the EV episode. I'm gonna be honest, I've stopped caring. Oop, wrong one. So, I know this is like one of the shorter ones, and that's only because my motivation for watching Journeys is kind of dead. What can maybe be a point of winning for Go? The only thing I can think of is if he catches Mew. Yeah, pretty much. Go just snagged Ash's old rival. Like, I don't like the fact they're using an OG rival, because that's literally saying we can't come up with an original character, so we gotta bring back an old character. Which is kind of dumb, because you've made OG characters, original characters in Journeys to begin with. Like, Biskies, freaking, whatever that guy's name is, like, Hanji, I think Hanji. Tokyo, like, you literally brought... This is why I hate that Tokyo episode so much. They ended the episode with Tokyo being meeting up with Go, but at least nowhere in the story. I said this before, I'm gonna say this again. I think it would be better off if Tokyo had died, because that's good storytelling. It's really like the Uncle Ben and Peter Parker trope, where, well, kind of, because like the whole thing with those two, the whole thing with Spider-Man is that like Peter let the guy away because he was upset because he didn't get the money. But then he says his line like, "That's not my problem," which winds up becoming his problem because he didn't stomp him. Uncle Ben died. Here, Recommend Night is like a go. You should learn not to judge people because you don't know what happened. I'll tell you why, Matsuko, because Journeys doesn't want to make a sad episode where they'll like go judge someone poorly, and because of that, he lived his entire life thinking that people are just like him. Because we gotta give Go a happy ending. Unfortunately, that happy ending doesn't mean anything because he doesn't bring up Tokyo again. Wouldn't you think if like Tokyo came back, they would like catch up, give each other's phone numbers, and then like have moments where they talk to each other? Or an episode where like Tokyo comes meet up with Go, he meets Ash, and then they start something. No, because I hate stating this so much, because I feel like I'm a broken right player now. Journeys is being done by one of the staff's owner's child. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, I hardly tell you guys I've seen the show called Henry Danger. But there was an episode where like they're promoting the cartoon, and the cartoon was so badly animated, badly written, that they literally like had a video chat call complain about how bad it was, and one of the officials said like, "But my kid loved it," and then they said this like, "Okay, no offense, but something's wrong with your kid." I'm not saying something's bad with the kid. I'm just saying like that was supposed to be a joke, saying like they don't know how to like write good storytelling. Which is very true, because like you gotta follow what makes a majority audience. You gotta follow storytelling right. Journeys doesn't know how to do that. They mostly focus on nostalgia and callbacks, and that's the same issue I had with freaking That's the same issue I had with freaking Super. Super just relied on callbacks and cheap gimmicks. Well, Masuda, I think in universe, Koharu still has school. Like she loves school, but in a story angle, she only comes along when it's important. She only comes along when it's like she has to have an episode about her, and that's dumb. That's generally dumb because we go episodes without seeing Koharu. I'm just done. Like I'm gonna be honest. Like so here's the plan. It's kind of clear that I'm kind of drained of journeys now, so I don't think I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna stop doing reviews on journeys only because I'm just fed up with it now. Instead, what I'm gonna do, Pokechat Master is still gonna happen, but like we're gonna do more fun activities. Like we're gonna have more fun. We might have to change the schedule though, because I noticed, and you guys may have noticed too, that like for the last few weeks now, our schedule's been kind of weird. So I'm gonna talk with the others and see like when is the best time within the weekend, so we can like get together and like have fun activities, like watch a movie, play something like Scribio, or play a Mingus. Like just something better than like just bitching on journeys, because I'm getting sick of it. I think the problem with Koharu too, I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, I'm sorry, folks. I'm kind of like joining with journeys now, so yeah, I'm gonna have to like find someone else. Like, I know, no, that's not to say I'm done. I'm just saying like, I'm just done complaining. I'm gonna be honest. I'm kind of done complaining. So, Devin Holmes and Masura, thanks for joining us, or joining me, because like I said, we gotta fix those schedules. Everyone's been. I've noticed everyone's busy. I don't blame them though. I'm not blaming anyone. I don't want it. I'm not that type of person. But we do need to like. I do need to like find a good time to do Pokechat Live when like a majority of us are good to do it. So with that said, y'all have a good night or good evening or good day. All right.